So I'm sure, as you guys have seen, Deshaun did not get to see his mother today because he did not want to go for a visit. And Drew and Stephanie seem to think that this court order means that Deshaun just doesn't have to go if he doesn't feel like it. And I don't think it's that he doesn't feel like it. I think it's that they're, making him feel like he shouldn't. But that's not what happened, guys. I've heard the court session, okay? The judge made it very clear they should be hyping this up and that if he was to tire, he could definitely leave early, that Deshaun would not have to stay the full 2 hours, but that if the requirement was the visit every single Sunday, and then obviously they were hoping things would go better, and then there was no stipulation. So if there was additional time, additional places to go, then that they could do that. But nowhere did she say, well, if he just doesn't want to, he doesn't have to. Drew continued to make it very clear that he didn't want to talk to his mom or didn't want to see his mother or whatever the case is. And the judge was like, well, that's really not his choice to make. And you guys need to be very clear, that this is a positive thing and hype it up and make it very good. So I don't know where people are getting off thinking that this is normal, that this is okay, this is what the judge thought. I'm getting really frustrated for Desiree because people just say things and they have no idea what actually happened in that courtroom. And I cannot wait for the 17th when they go back to court and this all comes out, because this attorney is going to definitely lay it out there. But no, she did not get to see her son. Another Sunday, another missed visit because, they didn't want to take him, basically. And it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong.
After being blocked from seeing her own son again, this situation has taken a turn that's even uglier than before. Drew and TikTok mom Stephanie are back at it. And this time, the evidence is damning. Desiree is hurt, angry, heartbroken, and exhausted. But one thing is clear, she's not giving up without a fight. No matter how long it takes, she is determined to bring her son back home where he belongs. Let's break it all down. If anyone thought things were finally about to turn around after Desiree had her very first court-ordered visitation with her son Deshaun last week, well, that hope was crushed faster than anyone expected. Because just a few days later, Drew and Stephanie slipped right back into their usual mess, back into the same toxic, manipulative patterns that scream one thing: parental alienation at its worst. Sunday was supposed to be simple. Another step forward, a 2-hour visit with her son. Nothing more, nothing less. But guess what? The visit never happened. And the reason? A text. Drew messaged her saying, Deshaun doesn't want to come. No discussion, no compromise. Just nope. Let's get one thing absolutely straight. Deshaun doesn't get to decide. The court was beyond clear about that. The judge laid it out plain and simple. No confusion, no gray areas. Visitation is not optional. It is mandatory. The only time Deshaun can stop a visit is if he feels tired or uncomfortable during the actual visit. Not before it starts, not days in advance, and definitely not just because someone whispered something in his ear to make him nervous or uncomfortable about it. The judge made it very clear that feelings of hesitation before the visit aren't reason enough to cancel. Kids naturally get anxious sometimes. That doesn't mean that you just throw the whole visit away. Drew's job, his responsibility, was to help guide Deshaun through those feelings, to support him, to make him feel secure about seeing his own mother. The court didn't just hand Drew permission for these visits. It handed him a duty, a very clear duty. That means Drew is supposed to be the adult in the room. He's supposed to be helping Deshaun understand that reconnecting with his mother is safe, healthy, and important. He should be talking positively about Desiree, hyping her up, reminding Deshaun that his mom loves him and that spending time with her is a good thing. Instead, what is Drew doing? The complete opposite. Blocking, discouraging, pulling back, and letting this little boy believe that avoiding his mother is somehow okay. Let's not sugarcoat this.
So I'm sure, as you guys have seen, Deshaun did not get to see his mother today because he did not want to go for a visit. And Drew and Stephanie seem to think that this court order means that Deshaun just doesn't have to go if he doesn't feel like it. And I don't think it's that he doesn't feel like it. I think it's that they're, making him feel like he shouldn't. But that's not what happened, guys. I've heard the court session, okay? The judge made it very clear they should be hyping this up and that if he was to tire, he could definitely leave early, that Deshaun would not have to stay the full 2 hours, but that if the requirement was the visit every single Sunday, and then obviously they were hoping things would go better, and then there was no stipulation. So if there was additional time, additional places to go, then that they could do that. But nowhere did she say, well, if he just doesn't want to, he doesn't have to. Drew continued to make it very clear that he didn't want to talk to his mom or didn't want to see his mother or whatever the case is. And the judge was like, well, that's really not his choice to make, and you guys need to be very clear, that this is a positive thing and hype it up and make it very good. Like, so I don't know where people are getting off thinking that this is normal, that this is okay, this is what the judge thought. I'm getting really frustrated for Desiree because people just say things and they have no idea what actually happened in that courtroom. And I cannot wait for the 17th when they go back to court and this all comes out, because this attorney is going to definitely lay it out there. But no, she did not get to see her son. Another Sunday, another missed visit because, they didn't want to take him, basically. And it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong.
Drew was supposed to be part of the solution, a bridge between a son and his mom. Instead, he's become the problem, the biggest problem standing in the way of Deshaun having a healthy relationship with his mother. The build-up to the missed visit. It didn't even start on Sunday. The warning signs were flashing days before. Drew started pulling his usual tricks, the same one he always does when he doesn't want things to move forward. Slowly, quietly, and sneakily, cutting back on communication between Desiree and her son step by step until it was almost non-existent. And let's be clear, communication isn't some side thing that's nice to have. It's not optional. The court spelled it out loud and clear. Maintaining open, regular, and consistent communication was key to rebuilding the trust between Deshaun and his mom. This isn't just about Sunday visits. It's about the texts in between, the phone calls, the FaceTime chats, the little check-ins that let Deshaun remember, hey, my mom is still here. She still loves me. And she is fighting for me. Without that, the visits feel awkward, forced, hard. And the court knew that, which is exactly why it was a major part of the parenting plan. But what was Drew doing? Slamming those doors shut as fast as he could, cutting every bridge before it could even be rebuilt. Every time Desiree tried to arrange something simple, something small like, can I take Deshaun out for lunch? Maybe even just an ice cream. Drew came back with the same cold, dismissive response. No. No explanation, no compromise, no discussion. Just no. Period. End of story. And here's what makes it worse. Desiree's hands are tied. She can't even push back hard without risking looking aggressive or difficult, because the court designed this parenting plan in a way where both parents had to agree on anything outside the official Sunday visit. Drew knows that. He's using it. He's weaponizing it. Because how do you agree with someone whose answer is always no? Someone who shuts you down before you can even finish the sentence? How do you co-parent when one parent refuses to co-parent every single time? It's not co-parenting. It's control. Plain and simple. The same old excuse, running on repeat. Then came Sunday, and there it was again. The same text, the same excuse. Deshaun doesn't want to come. The same tired excuse that has been recycled over and over like clockwork. No explanation, no conversation. Just a flat-out refusal disguised as a child's choice. Sound familiar? It should, because this has been Drew's go-to excuse for years. Every single time there is a chance for Desiree to reconnect with her son, Drew pulls this same manipulative line out of his pocket like it's some sort of valid get-out-of-jail-free card. Deshaun is old enough to decide. That's always his defense. Always. And like clockwork, to make it sound more reasonable, Drew starts telling the same story about his own childhood, how he was 10 years old when he got to decide whether to live with his mom or his dad, as if that somehow applies to this situation. Except here's the thing, and it's a big one. Drew's childhood didn't have court orders involved. His parents didn't go through the legal battle. There wasn't a signed stamped and filed court order telling his parents exactly how things needed to happen. Deshaun's situation does have that. Deshaun's situation has a legal document that clearly outlines how things are supposed to go. It's not a suggestion. It's not optional. It's the law. And here's where Drew completely misses the point. Personal opinions don't matter. His nostalgic childhood memories don't matter. Whether Drew feels like it's fair or not doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what the court ordered. And the court said it loud and clear. This visit is not optional. It doesn't depend on whether Deshaun feels like going that day. It doesn't depend on whether Drew wants it to happen. The judge already decided. The law already spoke. And yet, here we are, Drew pretending like he gets the final say. Spoiler alert, he doesn't. Desiree stands on business, for real. This time, Desiree wasn't just upset. She was done. Completely done. Done with the endless waiting. Done with the constant disappointment. Done with sitting back quietly while Drew and Stephanie continue to play games with her and her son's life. No more hoping they would magically wake up and do the right thing. No more praying for basic decency. No more playing nice and pretending like things were going to change on their own. She reached her breaking point, and this time she meant business. She went straight to work. First step, hiring a lawyer. A real one. Someone who would finally step in, speak for her, and help her fight this battle the right way. Then, set up a GoFundMe to cover the legal. And when I say the support was overwhelming, I mean it. People didn't just show up, they showed out. They flooded her with support, messages of encouragement, donations rolling in faster than she could even keep track of. Not only did she hit her goal, but she doubled it. People were done watching this injustice unfold. They were tired of seeing a mother fight for the basic rights while the other side played dirty. This wasn't just about money. It was a loud message from everyone who donated. We see what's happening and we're not standing for it. And let's be clear, Desiree isn't fighting for weekend visits anymore. Nope, that chapter closed. She's fighting for full custody. She's fighting for stability, for consistency, for peace, for a future where her son doesn't have to grow up in the middle of constant drama and manipulation. For a future where her son doesn't have to grow up in the middle of constant drama and manipulation. For a life where Deshaun can finally breathe, finally heal, finally have a safe, healthy environment. One where his well-being actually comes first and not the petty power games of two adults who should have known better.
It's okay. It's all gonna look bad on them. So I mean, I'm gonna still keep doing what I need to do. But you guys, I'm tired. My mental is draining, and I'm tired. Okay, I didn't mean to run away. Did someone clip that? Clip what? What did I miss? Hey guys. No, he texted me, but he didn't. It has to go both ways for a visit, guys. So the judge says that we both has to be on the same agreement. So if I call and be like, hey, can I take Deshaun to lunch? And he says no, then a visit can't happen because I have to not be like too aggressive, but like more of like, okay. But like he, in the paper said we need to have more time of me communicating. It's okay, guys. No, I'm not surprised. I already knew. I still gotta do my texts and make sure everything is going good. I mean, the visit last week was okay. We kicked the soccer ball. If you guys didn't see the video, I mean, to me, like, I'm glad that I got to saw him. I'm grateful, but not to be able to, you know, hug or have more communication with your child is kind of heartbreaking. So I was an emotional wreck that day. I mean, I'm not mad about the girls being at the visit. At least they get to be out of the motel room and out in some fresh air. Right, it sucks because you have to be, yes, so I literally have to be on my toes. Exactly. I have to make sure that I don't act and, let my emotions get involved. He said, guys, that Deshaun doesn't want a visit today. But it's not up to Deshaun. No, guys. Again, for the ones that are coming in, I did not get to see Deshaun today.
And like clockwork, the moment Stephanie found out Desiree had hired an attorney, the backpedaling began. And not just slow, subtle backpedaling. No. This was full-on panic mode. Fast, desperate, almost embarrassing. Suddenly, Stephanie was in Desiree's messages, acting like nothing ever happened. Dropping lines like, "I never stopped you from seeing your son." As if there weren't little videos, screenshots, and receipts proving otherwise. Like the entire internet didn't just witness her dragging Desiree's name for filth just days earlier. The level of audacity was unreal. And it gets worse. Stephanie even had the nerve to suggest that Deshaun could call them both mom, as if she hadn't spent the past years trying to erase Desiree completely from Deshaun's life. As if she hadn't sat on live streams throwing around accusation that Desiree abandoned Deshaun for the streets. Her exact words. The same mouth that was sweeping hatred a week ago suddenly wanted to kumbaya and play cool mommy? Girl, be serious. Let's be very clear. This wasn't a change of heart. This wasn't about realizing she was wrong or suddenly wanting what's best for Deshaun. This was damage control, pure and simple. The moment that lawyer got involved, Stephanie realized the game was changing, and fast. The lies, the manipulation, the public smear campaigns, they weren't going to hold up in court. So now it's crumbling mode. Pretend to be reasonable, pretend to be innocent, but it's too late. The damage is done. The receipts don't lie. The first visit, but with strings attached. And then finally, after 3 long, painful years apart, Drew took Deshaun to see his mother. A moment that should have been beautiful, healing, emotional. But no, it couldn't be that simple, could it? Of course not, because with Drew and Stephanie, nothing is ever straightforward. There is always a catch, always a trick. Drew didn't show up alone. Nope. He brought along Stephanie's 2 oldest daughters, 2 extra bodies, 2 distractions, and while Desiree, being the bigger person she is, handled it with grace, telling herself that maybe the girls just needed a break from the chaos, the noise, and the stress of their motel life. But let's be real, this was no accident. This wasn't a random choice. This was strategy. Plain and simple. Bringing the girls wasn't about giving them fresh air or a day out. It was about making sure Deshaun wouldn't have the emotional space to fully connect with his mom. It was a built-in distraction, a shield, something to make sure the visit didn't go too real, too emotional, or too meaningful. And guess what? It worked. Deshaun spent most of the visit running around, laughing and playing with the girls. And while on the surface it might have looked like a happy family moment, what it really meant was that Desiree barely got one-on-one time with her son, the son she fought so hard just to see for 2 short hours. But as if that wasn't bad enough, Drew took it even further. He secretly recorded the visit, without Desiree's consent. No heads up, no permission. Just pulled out his phone, hit record, and documented something deeply personal. A mother seeing her child after 3 years. And what did he do with the footage? Did he keep it private? Share it quietly with family? He posted it online for everyone to see, to dissect, to judge. And let's be very clear, this is not just rude. This is not just disrespectful. That's a full-blown privacy violation. a slap in the face to Desiree, and the weaponization of what was supposed to be a sacred healing moment. Back to the same toxic cycle. And as expected, it didn't last. Not even a little bit. Right after the visit, right after Desiree finally got to lay eyes on her son after 3 years, Drew and Stephanie wasted no time. They went right back to blocking Desiree from seeing Deshaun. Business as usual for them. And once again, the same worn out excuse. Deshaun doesn't want to go. No surprise there. It's practically their slogan at this point. And let's be brutally honest here. Does Deshaun really not want to see his mom? Or is this child being emotionally manipulated, guilt-tripped, and mentally cornered? Are there whispered comments behind closed doors like, if you go see her, you're choosing her over us? Or maybe it's more subtle. Being made to feel like visiting his mom means betraying the people he lives with. Maybe it's just the fear of losing the tiny scraps of comfort he still has left in that chaotic household. The psychology of it runs deep. Kids are smart, but they are also deeply sensitive to how adults make them feel. And when the environment teaches a child that wanting to see their own parent means causing drama, disappointment, or even punishment, what do you think the child will choose? Peace, comfort, even if it means disconnecting from the parent who actually wants what's best for them. Whatever the exact details are, there is one thing that cannot be argued. It is not Deshaun's fault. Not even a little bit. He's a child. A child. The court said it loud and clear. The court made it crystal clear. His feelings are valid because he's human, but his decisions cannot override the legal orders that were specifically put in place to protect him and his relationship with both parents. And yet, here we are, watching adults fail him again. They literally expose themselves online. You truly cannot make this up. Drew and Stephanie actually hit the go live button on social media, bold as ever, running their mouths for the entire internet to hear about how they were plotting to put a fight to keep Deshaun away from his mother. Not behind closed doors, not in private conversation, publicly, on the internet. With comments rolling in, witnesses watching, and everything being screen recorded in real time. It's honestly unbelievable how bold and careless they are with their own wrongdoings. Let's break this all the way down. Violation 1. Stephanie is legally forbidden from discussing Desiree or Deshaun on social media. This isn't a suggestion, it's a court order, a legal document signed by the judge, and yet, there she was, on live, talking about Deshaun, about the custody battle, about everything she was specifically ordered not to speak about. Boom. Broken. Clear as day. Violation 2. They didn't just violate the order. They basically confessed on camera. They openly admitted with no shame that they were actively working together to stop Deshaun from seeing his mother. That's not just drama. That's not just petty. That is textbook parental alienation. And not only is it morally disgusting, it's straight up illegal under the court's orders. What's wild is they basically handed the judge everything needed to prove Desiree's case. No need for speculation. No, he said, she said. They literally recorded themselves violating court orders, confessing to manipulation, and laying out the entire strategy for keeping Deshaun from his mother. On a silver platter, tied with a bow. The arrogance is mind-blowing. What comes next? The court date is logged for July 17th. And honestly, it can't come fast enough. The entire nightmare has dragged on for so long. With every single violation Drew and Stephanie have racked up, from bluntly ignoring court-ordered visitations, to emotionally manipulating Deshaun, to violating his privacy without remorse, to even exposing the entire plan on a public live stream they've built on a mountain of failure that's impossible to ignore. They've essentially dug their own legal graves, one reckless move at a time. Meanwhile, Desiree isn't walking into the courtroom empty-handed. She's walking in armed with the truth, with undeniable proof, with screen-recorded lives, screenshots, text threads, witnesses, court transcripts, and a legal team that knows exactly how to lay every single receipt out in front of that judge. This isn't just a court hearing. This is a reckoning. And at the heart of it all, Deshaun, a little boy who deserves better. He deserves stability. He deserves peace. He deserves to grow up in a home where he's not being used as a pawn, where manipulation isn't part of his daily routine, where adults actually care more about his well-being than their own ego-driven battles. And right now, it's looking more and more like that's exactly what's coming his way. A chance at a normal, loving, stable life. But let's be real. The questions everyone's asking still hang heavy. Will Desiree finally walk away from that courtroom with full custody, giving Deshaun the safe environment he deserves? Will Drew even stick around once the power play is over, once Deshaun isn't there for him to control? Or will this whole toxic, dysfunctional house of cards finally crash and burn for everyone to see? Because make no mistake, this court date isn't just the next step. This is the final battle. Sound off in the comments because I know you've got opinions on this one. Do you genuinely believe Drew is doing what's best for Deshaun? Is he really acting in his son's best interest, or is this just him following Stephanie's toxic lead, using this child as a pawn in a game of control, manipulation, and ego? Because from where we're sitting, it's looking a lot like Deshaun isn't the priority. It's looking like the real goal here has always been about keeping Desiree out of the picture at any cost, no matter how much it hurts this child. Let me know what you think. Drop your thoughts, your frustrations, and your predictions because this isn't just a story. It's a full-blown disaster playing out in real time. And if you think this was messy, oh, trust me. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notifications because the next chapter is about to get even nastier, even uglier, and even more jaw-dropping than this.